Welcome to the Beyond Bitcoin Whaletank. Our Whaletank Hangouts start every Friday at 3 p.m. Universal Time. Be sure to follow the Beyond Bitcoin tag on Steem, as well as our Hangout host Official Fuzzy for the latest Whaletank updates. To participate in the discussion, simply find the weekly Whaletank RSVP post and RSVP with a topic or proposal in the comments. WhaleShares creates synergy between BitShares and Steem by rewarding developers and helpful community members. The Whaletank has already distributed over $70,000 in upvotes during its first month. You can also create and trade your own cryptographically secure whale tokens and get an automatic seat in the Whale Council. WhaleShares work for the chain based on votes by the community. If you're interested in becoming a founding member of the Whale Council, let us know by sending an email to beyondbitcoin@gmail.com with the subject Whale Council. Be on the lookout for our new forums coming soon.
Go ahead and get started with these projects. It's going to be Pure Plays first, followed by WhaleShares, and then Votu is going to be stepped up. Then after this, we will see Mr. Wang, who will be talking about something called Crypto Crush. Emerge will follow Mr. Wang, and he will be talking about his Steem Pay app with some other cool things that are potentially going to happen with it. And then we're going to go with VG, aka Virtual Growth, and he is going to be talking with App Trades a little bit about what's going on in their edge of the BitShares ecosystem, followed by Chief Mapster, who is talking about his gaming initiatives. And then we are going to talk to Purity.io, or Forrest Willie, who is going to be representing Purity.io for the day.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jonathan Bahai. I'm the president of the Pure Plays Blockchain Standards Association, otherwise known as the PBSA. The PBSA is a nonprofit organization that's dedicated to the development of global standards for publicly fair online gaming. And this is an update that's coming to you for the summer. And we've talked about bringing this update for a little while now. There's been a lot that's been going on since our last update, so I'm very happy to be here to share it with you. Not too long ago, we had everybody in the Pure Plays organization come together PBSA organization come together to talk about and strategize the development of what's going on with Pure Plays right now. So we had the developers from Hong Kong, we had developers from Germany, from the U.S., and as well as myself in Canada, all headed to our Amsterdam office, which is now up and fully operational. And we spent a week strategizing on everything and also reviewing the development of the various elements for the Pure Plays blockchain. It was really exciting. We've come up with some really interesting new ways in which data brought to the blockchain is going to be done for specifically for Bookie, which is still on schedule for later this year. After that, we went on to do other developments. We are working with a third party who has been advised by the PBSA in their development, who is now ready to launch the rock, paper, scissors application. We're looking at seeing that being released sometime this month. And you're going to see more information on that. I'll be letting Michael talk about that a little bit more. This month, we're also advising that the witnesses should look at creating a test net specifically for the launch of this new application, because there's a lot of new features that are going to be coming with this. The rock, paper, scissors application, as many of you know, back when we had the test net, we created a demo game of this rock, paper, scissors. There's a whole new version now which incorporates the Unity 3D framework. And as we've talked about in the past, the Unity 3D framework is very popular with developers, and this is a whole new space in the blockchain industry, in which we'll be able to access lots of gaming developers who will be able to utilize the Pure Plays blockchain using these types of standards in the future. So that's coming along this summer, or actually this month. And so everything has been going really good. We have operations here at the bunker going on as well. We have new programmers who have come online. We just released our hiring video, which we are very proud of, which talks about both our locations and some of the team. I highly recommend you check out the video. We are looking to hire more C++ programmers. So if you are a C++ programmer and would like to be part of the Pure Plays Provably Fair Gaming Revolution, then recommend you get in touch with us. And that is all I have for the update on my end, but I know there are more details, and I would like to leave those to Michael, and I'm sure there will be some questions. So with that said, thank you very much to everybody who's given us your support, and I'll leave it to Michael now. Thank you.
Really good update. Thank you, Jonathan. I'm going to give you guys, I guess, a little bit more details, since that's sort of what I'm good at. I'm gonna go into a little bit deeper what Jonathan just said, but also keep it within about that I have a couple minutes to answer any quick questions. So here goes. Pure Plays 8, as Jonathan mentioned, we're working with an Audi to move towards the release of Pure Plays 8. The first installment of Pure Plays 8 will be the rock, paper, scissors game. It looks really awesome. And more details and information about the plans for further development of Pure Plays 8 will be forthcoming after the release of the application. Before the release of the application, as Jonathan mentioned, the Pure Plays witnesses, we're only giving a pre-advisory here in that we're assembling a little more formatted version of this advisory. However, we're strongly suggesting that all Pure Plays witnesses become acquainted and understand how to operate a testnet. We know there's many who are able to do this, and the testnet mirrors the blockchain code and can be used to test completely independently from whomever publishes open source code for use with the Pure Plays blockchain. So as much, as much testing and that any one group of coders can do, no matter how much of a rock stars they are in the digital blockchain space. As we all know, there's always potential, things that arise when you have open source software that's being shared around publicly. So we want to, strongly advise that, and that'll, I think, give a lot more chance to catch bugs before they affect something, in the main network, and nobody wants that. The current stage of development right now, as Jonathan mentioned, we are putting together a pretty extensive suite of Python-based witness tools to be used for witnesses to perform these individual operations, to come to consensus with each other, and also to source the data in a more automated way. Of course, it won't be 100% automated necessarily in the beginning, but we're providing a whole bunch of hands-on tools. Of course, all of this will also be usable on the Pure Plays testnet. So witnesses can familiarize themselves with how everything works, up to and including working together, using the automated consensus technology. And we'll much more information about that, including loads of technical information will be released at least if not 1 month before the recommendation to fork into the blockchain. So all of this again is just some information about what we're doing. Finally, I'll say Pure Plays Core, which is our core wallet. Many of you may have be using that right now. It's a downloadable desktop interface. We have there's a number of functions and operations, a number of features, I should say, that exist in the Pure Plays blockchain right now at the C++ level that have not been integrated into the core wallet app. Of course. This is also true with BitShares, actually. There's some things in BitShares you can do, in the command line that you can't actually do in any of the interfaces. I believe. I may be wrong there, Fuzzy. You'll have to correct me if they've gotten caught up with that. But What I will say is that a few of the features that we're looking to add as first orders of business, as it were, so to speak, provide support in the publication of additional open source updates to the PeerPlace core wallet application, which will include the stealth, blind transfer, transfer to blind, transfer from blind operation, triplicacy, I guess I'll call it. The ability to blind transfers does exist, but it was deemed at one point, a little bit more complex than the average users could understand. So we're working to figure out a way that smart users can understand it, and then put it behind a little button that has a skull and crossbones on it, and we figure that'll be adequate for the user, for the for our users who tend to be very smart anyway. So the third thing that we're looking at integrating, of course, is the PeerPlace DEX, which is a live decentralized exchange right now, albeit is still only accessible via the command line. And the did I say two things or three things? I only said two. The third thing is multi-sig. We have the same threshold-based account permission capability as BitShares. So yes, it is a downloadable desktop application. It's open source. We'll offer compiled versions with checksums, or the party that will be publishing it will be offering compiled versions with checksums. So very, the same way as the core wallet is currently supported. If there are two PeerPlace 8 apps, would a user download two separate apps? Where do they download it from? So the PeerPlace 8 app is likely going to support additional in-app features. I don't really have the time to talk about exactly. I understand the question on a couple different levels, Takanator. So I'll just say that individual separate apps is likely the future in terms of independent development on the PeerPlace blockchain. However, all of that said, if apps are of language and be integrated and unified, there's opportunities for that as well. So that may sound kind of opaque the way that I described it, but in essence, PeerPlace 8 is a Unity based application. You can't simply open a Unity based application onto your desktop on your computer from within, say, a JavaScript application that is running independently. At least there's some difficulties doing that. So in essence, it'll likely just be a series of links that can be compiled to where the downloads can happen. And but this is an evolving space, so I'll just leave it at that. And hopefully that answers your question, Takanator. The testnet code posted. If somebody can grab the link for that, I don't have it offhand. The testnet, that the witnesses should run should always be a clone of the line. So that's the straightforward. The live blockchain code current release version is available at GitHub/PBSA. Right now, you can wager in PPY tokens. This app is sort of a community-facing app. However, we're working towards integrating the wagering of other tokens. So there's a profit incentive whereby you might get lucky and you all might furiously overcome the ski of your withering opponent who bows down before your rock, paper, scissors skills, and you end up with a big pile of money. So there's all kinds of different ways to play the games and have fun. I kind of went in a little different direction there with that question. Okay. But the incentive for getting involved at the coding level, we're working on a show me, not tell me type of project. And there's a lot of emerging ideas in this space right now, and there's a lot of very big players that are coming and getting involved with a lot of resources and a lot of coders that are ready to go. And I mean this, in a broad sense, but also specifically, people who we work with. And so in essence, these business models, I don't have all of them in my head. I have a lot of ideas, as do a lot of other people. And so we're working on some really, really I'll say innovative stuff. and you can quote me on that, and hopefully the evidence of that will be made available as these upcoming code releases roll out, over this fall and winter. So we have our Telegram channel, of course, is where the ADD world hangs out. Anyone with a little bit more patience can participate in more forum-based discussions. Steem it. I am actually not the social media person, so I'm probably not giving you every link that we have. But if you follow our PeerPlace account on Steem it, and you peruse through the last few weeks or whatever, you'll find a wealth of information on there. We got a really cool thread actually that was recently posted that Robin put up, asking people to gather all the information they can find, scout through the internet and find all the stuff on graphene. So there's a huge cool resource there where you can learn about graphene, the technology, and some other awesome stuff. So I would say Steem it, go to Steem it in Telegram, and you'll figure it out from there. And of course our website, which is peerplace.com, and the website for the Bookie application, which is bookie.exchange.
Thank you very much for joining up and giving some updates on what you guys are doing. PeerPlace, for anybody who is not aware, is the third of the graphene chains that has come out that has really been an innovative idea in the space. So I look forward to it, and I will say that I do own some. Actually, I've went out of my way to own a lot of them. So thank you guys for the opportunity, as a proxy for Nepi, to speak about the WhaleShares coin.
Okay, I'm here today to represent Neft. Sadly, he's busy by real-life tasks, so he cannot be here today. But I will make a small update on his project, so everybody knows how the token or coin, I don't know the right explanation, but how it's go the project. So first of all, I want to tell you for the new initiative of NEPT, which is the progressive jackpot. Here is the link. He's already at day 15. So the idea is that he spread every day some of the hair shares, and the next donation of a hair will receive the jackpot, which at this moment is about $100 in price of hair shares, of course. The next thing I want to say about is the running slogan contest. Once this is finished, NEPT start to plan some more initiatives. This will be the hair shares donation location. Hair shares donation location gives a logo sticker and hair shares, Steem it, BitShares information for salons, barber shops, and hair shares ambassadors. The task will be to seek these salons and donate this logo, and also explain them together about Steem and about the hair shares program, which is running here. There are also multiple donations of Steem and Steem Power. I can say some of the names. This is JP Henderson, Linda's, CoinDevil, and some supports from other whales, except of Fuzzy, which is based on votes and delegating Steem Power. So if someone is interested to support the project, he can contact NEPT. We have a room for hair shares in the Discord of WhaleShares. Okay, the next thing which NEPT want to invent is the option of upvote your post with the hair share token. At this moment, this is only with the NEPT account, so one token is 4% upvote, around 6 cents. So 25 tokens is 100% upvote, which at this moment is around $1.50. Everyone can send the tokens to NEPT1 on BitShares and link the memo. So this is not automated process yet. So NEPT is doing this manual, and any time difference from the sending the tokens and the upvote, it is reasonable, because when you do this manual, it's much more hard. So if anyone have a problem, he also can try to reach NEPT again in the WhaleShares Discord channel. Next point is update of the trading pairs. At this moment, you can trade here shares for BitShares, WhaleShares, BeyondBits. And if you have any other value proposition for trading, you can ask Net to add this. Also, the Whale bot now is giving information about the price of here shares too. I just want to say some words. This is only from me, is not from NEPT. But I think this is a great initiative, and helping kids or cancer sick people is such a great thing that, okay, I know here probably is mostly guys, and I understand you don't have any hair for donation. But
Wait,
all
I
of
have
you...
hair.
Okay.
I actually wanted to ask you a question.
Sure. All the time.
So I normally have quite short hair, but I've grown it out for the past year. What is the process? I mean, the whole thing is about donating hair, right? So what is the actual process to doing that if you actually want to donate, or yeah?
Okay, for everyone that missed the introduction post of NEPT, I will explain short. You can donate by 3 organizations which NEPT added in a separate post, or also you can add hair donation program for your own country. So every country has a specific so, for example, you cannot donate a bleached hair in some countries. You cannot donate a painted hair in some countries. There is you have to have the right amount of long hair. For example, 10 or 20 centimeters. This is specified in every one of these organizations for donation. So you can check this post. I will link it to you if you like now. If you like, I will link to you later. And you can see what the standard is in this post.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, this will be something like a program in which you have to find a hair share salon. And there will be this logo after everything is finished. Probably NEPT will send to everybody interested to do it, and it will be international. Everybody will have the right to go in every hairdresser salon, and you will be promoting the whole project together with Steem.
I'll say this. I think it's an awesome initiative. I think it's also a great way to potentially get ladies onto the decks. Especially the types of people who give away their hair and think about that as something that's valuable. I think that they're also a pretty valuable demographic to cryptocurrencies in general, because if they see the value of that stuff, then they are going to probably think a little bit more outside of the box in terms of value on other value propositions. But really quick, for those who are not familiar with it, this is really about donating your hair to various locations and being able to go onto the Steem blockchain, like you said, and talk about it, and post about it, and earn. And it's really cool to think about the fact that we often think that hair is something that we just oh, I got it cut today. I actually pay for somebody to cut it off and throw it away. But for many people, who are out there living their lives trying to do the best they can, we all encounter our own problems, right? And one of those problems or struggles is something like cancer or illness that takes away
everybody takes for granted.
Everybody takes for granted. Which essentially means that for me, it's a very good exercise in reminding yourself that every little piece of you is valuable, right? Especially if you know the people who need what you offer.
Like me personally, but also I've done it with people before who've donated hair on behalf of events that we held. But I just imagine those people, it's going to be hard to get them on BitShares at the same time, because they're people that I knew in college, and it would be interesting to talk to them about it and see if they'd be interested. But I'm sure they would just do it for the charity, and the whole BitShares thing would be hard to sell, just because it would be very new to them. But yeah, it's but me myself, I'm considering it myself because I've done it before.
Cool.
So
go ahead.
You only need to make a post. With the process is not complicated, and you have to contact NEPT, and he'll probably give you the progressive jackpot plus some more hair shares for it.
Very cool. I will look that up.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think that it's important that that we log this stuff on a blockchain, and Steem is a great way to do that and kind of tell the story of this initiative, because initiatives like this, Beans is right, we have a lot to do to get people onto the DEX to make it easier on them, but at the same time, initiatives like this, we're not, even if it's not perfect, it gives us a great starting point to start moving forward with.
It's definitely a great way to, I think it's a great way to introduce people to the whole idea, because it really shows what it can do. Like, it's not just about people investing for their own benefits.
Yep. Great point. Well, do you have anything, Padalenko, that you would like to end on today? If not, I would say go ahead and give any information to contact you or NEP. But if you do, please feel free to give that beforehand.
I just want to add that this is a honorable thing to do in your life, and convince other people to do it too. So you can contact me or NEPT all the time in WhaleShares server, in Discord server. This is not complicated. There is a HairShares room. Also, all the time you text in general chat, will be someone of us to answer you.
Thank you very much, Padalenko. And if you guys don't mind, I would just like to urge you to consider to take a moment whenever we're thinking about this and say to yourself, just kind of visualize somebody that you love being in a position where they have been struck by an illness that takes their hair away from them. And it's like an insult added to the injury. So if we can, do something small that is so valuable that will uplift somebody's existence in a way that they felt might not have been possible, gives them hope and humanity around them. That's right. So I'm going to give you 20 minutes.
Hey, I was gonna. We're actually gonna keep it short and sweet, but we just wanted to get on here and update everybody. Can you hear us though?
Perfectly.
Perfect. And shout out to that boy Fuzzy. You're all good, man. I just wanted to get on here real quick and give everybody and shout out to Sir Lunch too. We just wanted to give everybody an update on the cartoon. So we have just recently put out a 30-second teaser of the cartoon Crypto. And we're currently putting together episode 2, which is going to be longer. And it'll have the confrontation with, on this episode, it's Ethereum and EOS meeting. I guess EOS is haunting Ethereum's dreams. And Bitcoin meets Bitcoin Cash for the first time at Coinbase. So that'll be the second episode. And I also wanted to throw in that we just completed the game. It's basically like a Candy Crush type game. It's a Connect 3 game. So we're done with it, and it's already on the Google Play Store, and we're ready to incorporate testers. So what we want to do is we want to reward all our game testers that are willing to download our game and test it for bugs, and everybody that I guess we want to offer bounties for all the people that find bugs or tell us how to improve the game. So we definitely want to put that out, and we want to offer Wang change, Lil Wang tokens. And ultimately, we also want to create our own, Compound Films token also.
Nice.
So that's all we wanted to do. We just wanted to get out here and update everybody. And like I said, this will happen. And ultimately, we plan to create a Discord channel so that way we can offer bounties for people that want to, create music for the cartoon or if people want to incorporate their coins into the game. All opportunities are open, and we'll definitely have avenues for that.
And just so everybody knows, can you really quickly run over what Crypto Crush is?
Yeah, Crypto Crush is a mobile game app, and it's basically like the popular game is called Candy Crush. And it's basically it's a cryptocurrency version of Candy Crush. In other words, real simple. And like I said, it has 100 levels. It has great power ups. And as soon as we release the open alpha version, we'll go ahead and release the link on a post, and we'll go ahead and invite people that want to test out the game. And we want to reward those people.
That's awesome. And along those lines, Manish123 says here, how many tokens for testers if you missed it? If you missed it.
For simple bugs, you get little Wang tokens.
Go ahead.
Yeah, for little bugs, you get little Wang tokens.
Which are raffle tokens, basically.
Here, matter of fact, I'll let you hear it from Mr. Wang.
Yeah, so little, what I'm saying, like, it's going to range from, like small bounties to, big bounties and stuff like that. And little Wang tokens, of course, what me and Virtual have been working on are going to be used as, raffle tokens. Basically, you accumulate these tokens through engaging in our videos and stuff like that. You earn them, just little, different ways of earning these, tokens, but also too in small bounties and stuff like that, for the Crypto Crush game. And, we're going to be holding drawings and stuff. If you have that token, that's an automatic raffle ticket that you have that, and you'll have a chance to win some stuff or, opportunities to work with us and stuff like that, or feature your work. So that's how that works. And big bounties up to like earning Wing change tokens and stuff like that. So.
Definitely. So we got, Lil Wangs and Wang Change. And like I said, we plan to create a future token. And I guess just to finish it off, Fuzzy, this is the first game. We plan to, create a lot of other games. We have a fighting game where the coins are going to be able to fight each other. We have an adventure game for Bitcoin where he goes on an adventure, multiple levels, just a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I mean?
It's wonderful. I'll tell you, real quick, if you could tell us a little bit about the Wang Change token that is going to be, it's part of all this.
Can you repeat that question? I'm sorry.
Could you tell everybody a little bit about the Wang Change token that is connected to all this?
Oh yeah. So if you don't know about it, Wang Change basically was a token I created. It's basically a fan coin for for Mr. Wang, the name, and it's $150 value basically. And when you purchase this token, you get you basically get share drops for holding a full token from the rewards on my post, which is basically like one of the main things. Basically you're showing showing me support and saying that you believe, you know, in Mr. Wang and you love what he does and stuff like that. But I also have exchanges, for people who, like, you know, who have, smaller, you know, like fractions of the token where you can exchange, what I plan for is like, you know, merchandise and stuff like that, that you can exchange for. If you have like at least 0.1, worth value of a Wang Change token, you know, you basically get added on to, a list where I upvote all your content as long as you hold that token, and basically add your name to that list, that database I have or whatever. So there's like a bunch of different exchanges and offers and stuff like that I've actually added on to Wang Change.
So Candy Crush, right? It's basically incorporating all the cryptocurrency coins, and we actually included WhaleShares on there. There's Bitcoin on there. We have Monero on there. We have Ethereum on there. EOS on there. We have Litecoin on there, Dash, you know, Wang Change on there. And, like I said, we'll be incorporating new coins on there. So it's really fucking cool. It's Candy Crush, but with cryptocurrency coins. So, shout out to WhaleShares. Shout out to Fuzzy. You're in the game. Boy, you done made it. And shit, we plan to put WhaleShares in the cartoon. So, we need your voice, buddy.
Will you help me fix my my mic compound films and make this thing fixed, and I will give you as many of them as possible.
Hey, you know, if you said if fix your microphone, cool. We'll send the helicopter and drop off a brand new microphone.
No, I'm just talking about micro expertise by a man who knows probably a lot more about audio than most.
Oh yeah, you know, I definitely got you. You're gonna have that HD audio.
Well, let's talk about it a little bit. I will never turn down somebody who brings a value proposition that I still need to improve upon.
Well, you know, we fully support you, Fuzzy. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're here for you. So we can't wait to further, you know, let the whole world know about what we got going on, and WhaleShares and Steem it and Beyond Bitcoin. And we're definitely excited to grow with everybody here. So like I said, this is happening, and if anybody has an opportunity, hit us up. Let's create something.
Really quickly, how do people join your beta test?
Well, we're going to go ahead and post the link. I'd say later on today or tomorrow, we're going to go ahead and, you know, post the test links for Android, and iPhone the following day.
Okay. And that is going to be found on steemit.com.
Yes, sir. We're going to go ahead and post it on my account and, Mr. Wang's account. I'm by Compound Films on Steemit. You know, if you're not following me, go ahead and give me one follow. And Mr. Wang is on there, so he's going to be posting links also. So, definitely go ahead and follow us. Like something out the Bible, you know what I'm saying?
I hear you, buddy. Well, thank you very much. How do people reach you guys if they would like to work with you? If they would like to find out more about your projects, or maybe even, who knows, maybe give you some voiceovers?
Well, you know, anybody could definitely leave me a comment on any of my posts on By Compound Films. On Steemit. Yeah, and so like I said, a lot of great opportunities for the cartoon, a lot of great opportunities for the game. Like I said, we do film. I mean, every damn thing. If you're trying to build a Noah's Ark, you call me.
Well, I think we'll have many conversations, and I think we have 6 minutes and 30 seconds. But I will say that I look forward to seeing all these different projects, especially the games. I know that in the crypto space, most people who are in here dealing with the digital tokens and seeing the value of them, most of them are or have been gamers at some point in time. So I think that angle is probably one of the most powerful and underutilized in cryptocurrency. And I've probably said this to those who are at these hangouts for the past 4 years a number of times. So I apologize to any of you who have heard it 1,000 times. But I will say that it's important, I think, that people recognize how valuable this is. And please check out these games that the guests are talking about today. because these are the types of things that open up imaginations and connect them with reality and the power of value transmission in a digital way.
Oh yeah,
in a way that is safe and easy for them to learn.
I definitely want to throw in also that we'll definitely be working on an exclusive fuzzy project also in the future.
Well, I will definitely talk to you guys, I guess, about that one. Thank you very much.
Well, definitely. Like I said, just wanted to give a shout out to Walrus, shout out to Virtual Growth, shout out to Fuzzy, Lunch, Sir Lunch, Extraordinary Pilot, and everybody on here. Thank you for your time. I know I got the minutes, but definitely, that's pretty much what I wanted to say to everybody. Wayne Change, Mr. Wayne, and that's pretty much it. Thank you to everybody.
Well, thank you guys for joining up, and I cannot stress enough helping the people in these hangouts with whom their ideas resonate. If those people and their ideas are powerful to you, try to think about it just a little bit on the side. What value proposition you can bring to these people? Because everybody here and everybody who's listening offers a value proposition that very few others do. You just have to find it. And if you find something that you care about, just so happens that it becomes a little bit easier to find that value proposition. So thank you for you guys. Thank you for everybody who's joining up and keeps on trucking despite the difficulties that do arise, because we are really bringing a lot of value, ironically. Beans and Sir Lunch of the Votu podcast. So I'll go ahead and I'll ask you guys, are you ready to step up to the plate?
Hello.
Cool. There's one. I'll check you off this. Sir Lunch, you ready to rock and roll?
I believe he is here.
Okay. Well, I'll let you guys decide who's going to be talking today and when. Obviously, you guys know how to do that. So there's no need for me here.
I think I can go ahead, right?
Back.
Okay, so thanks for having us again, Fuzzy. As always. It starts to feel a bit like Dragon's Den coming in here, so I'm a little bit nervous. But I don't know if you guys have a Dragon's Den type thing in America. We have like...
No, I'm not.
No? Oh, okay, then that doesn't make sense. But like Whaletank, this whole concept reminds me of Dragon's Den, which is it's like a place. It's a TV program where you go in and talk to investors about your business ideas, and it's quite daunting. But anyway, it's nice to have another woman's voice in the room. So thanks, Padalincho, because that kind of takes the ease off a little bit. But anyway, so we are starting. We're just to kind of update you. We've been in here before talking about the video series we were going to start. We've been planning this for quite a few months now. I'm sure you know I went over to America about 3 or 4 months ago to meet Sir Lunch, the host, and start planning this whole thing. And the whole idea has evolved over time, from being about living off crypto to being about onboarding businesses into crypto. And now we've moved it on to being a documentary series, or a documentary series / movie about the blockchain. So on top of releasing segments from the documentary and also a travel vlog, we'll be filming in the background to release an actual movie. So we're getting very close to the point where we start. We're hoping to start this month. And we are, hoping to get some sponsorship behind us. We've been talking to a few people behind closed doors, and it looks like we're getting some backing. So if anybody is interested, I'll let Sir Lunch, the host, take over and actually describe the movie that we're planning. Sir Lunch, the host.
Hello everyone.
Our
I was
director.
I was taking a nap. No, I'm kidding. So basically, right, I'm gonna give you guys a rundown here. You guys have seen me come on here countless times with countless great ideas that maybe got supported, maybe didn't. And last time, I decided to sit back and think, what can I do that's not just about myself or the Vote2 podcast or the Vote2 group. And you guys know how it is with me. I took a long time to think, all of about 5 minutes, and then something great hit me in the face. And it was called the documentary. I went back and I looked through the internet's history, and I saw that nobody documented core things about the internet when it was on the rise. People's success stories, not just like the wealthy people, but normal people. With that being said, I also realized I am around a bunch of people with a lot of, hey, my smoke detector is fine. All right, lag, I love my smoke detector. But, you guys, all right, I'm closer
I
to
think
my
it's
camera,
just the
guys. But, so basically, we're going to create a documentary, and this documentary is going to... This documentary is basically going to follow Steemians all the way up until the Steem Fest point. And we've been very active in getting this done. And by active, we've actually set out a date, a time, and everything with one of the best people ever, Virtual Growth. We're going to be doing maybe a Steem It meetup over there, and we're going to start getting the documentary started. Now, this documentary and movie has multiple layers, and this is where it's going to get deep. Now, if anyone has been watching me, which, I'm one of the top bloggers on the platform, so you kind of have to. But if anyone's been watching me, my content has kind of slowed down because I've been redirecting my focus. And the focus now is gathering certain content to combine into not only a documentary, but a travel vlog series that me and Beans will be doing, and then a web series. So to give you an example of how that'll go, for instance, we will be interviewing Virtual Growth about his own personal success story on the blockchain and Steem. That'll be part of the bigger documentary. Then we are going to interview him on a separate day in a separate environment about the blockchain technology and his endeavors and what he thinks the blockchain is going to do for people. That part will be for the web series. The behind the scenes of me and Beans in hotels and doing crazy things, that'll be the travel vlog. And all these different videos and media will have different concepts to them. So the vlogs will be funny, the mini-series will be, enticing, the documentary will be heavy, hard-hitting, and it's going to explain things that people don't know that they should know, and it's going to just lay it out for people rather well.
Yeah, we plan to keep it engaging as well, so we'll be holding some contests to make sure that people are actually paying attention and so that they're trying to make the same movements we're making.
Now, with that being said, with the documentary on my brain and wanting to document things, another idea is actually sprouted from that, which is a video game that is much more than a video game. It's a video game that explains the blockchain's history from the WhaleShares and BitShares community's perspective. I'm doing all these different documentations in different styles, so it appeals to spectrums all across, young and old, whatever the case may be. And there's going to be music as well. So I also have music. If you go back to my profile, there's music with Dan Lammer and Ned explaining what Steem is supposed to be and what the blockchain is supposed to be and all that. So this whole thing is a cultivation and a combination of the vision of the blockchain and everything, what it's supposed to be. And we're so dedicated to it. We'll be making the soundtrack. And yeah, we're not, the most experienced directors and producers, but because we have a knack at portraying and conveying a certain emotion through our media, we feel like we're the best people to tell this story. And of course, there's other people who can tell the story, but of course, we feel like with our style, we would present it the best way.
We definitely present it in an entertaining way, I think. But we also, if you remember, we have some businesses in the background who are ready to get on Steemit. And I'm sure you've seen the clothing line that Solange has come out with as well. That's one of the businesses who's waiting to get on Steemit as well, who's helping us out with that. So those will be included in the documentary as part of the story of, of the blockchain and, getting people on Steemit.
So yeah, we also have the clothing line that's coming out that was inspired by Walrus and Patalinko, and I just have to say, we don't dance, we Patalinko. With that being said, the reason why I decided to make a clothing line is because I understand that the movement I'm trying to make by making a documentary, by creating a music, it's a culture movement. And I've been saying this since day one, right? I don't think there's many people besides me, Mr. Wang, and Compound Films. Shout out to them. And let me take a quick sidestep. A couple people on our list that we are going to be seeing consists of Instructor 2121, Mr. Wang, Compound Films, hopefully, Ron Donson, Mackenzie Gary, and we're going to be traveling to Steemit meetups that pop up. So as soon as we see one pop up, we're going to reach out to the person who's heading it, and we're there. We're going to try to document as much as we can, and once we get as much as we need out of the U.S., we're going to go to Europe, and we're going to do the same thing. Okay, back on track. With the clothing line and everything, it's we're trying to push the fact that there needs to be a culture movement on the blockchain that not teaches people, but really just shows people a different side to the blockchain. And I'm going to be making clothes for BeyondBitcoin and stuff like that. And again, this push to do all this media is really for a whole culture movement. We want people to, because in 2020, from 2020 to 2030, let's be real, blockchain is going to be like the internet. It's going to be mainstream as hell, and everyone's going to want their hands on it. And when that time comes, the people that are here would have established themselves as technology builders and coders, right? But we also need the people who are out talking to businesses and onboarding businesses, and then documenting that, and then making something out of that. I mean, I'm pretty sure Votu is going to be one of the first one of the first names that turns into a brand, that turns into a business that's make money, that onboards other businesses and then starts multiple businesses, right? I don't know a lot of other people that are creating a unique clothing line inspired by communities. That's something unique that we're doing, and I don't think there's, besides Mr. Wayne Compound Films, making games that are directly linked to the communities that we're involved in. So overall, the movie, the game, the music, the clothes, it's all part of a bigger scheme of things that says culture and screams culture. Because again, I want to emphasize that me and Beans are maybe not the best coders when it comes to computers, but we are very good at the human mind and coding and reading and directing that. And we're going to need those people along with the technical coders to, guide the way and pioneer.
We believe that culture is what's going to bring people to the blockchain, that the coders actually need to figure out how the blockchain can work to meet their needs.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, because one thing I know about coders, they don't have really good social skills. So the coders need the entertainers, and we're the entertainers. We're the people. We get out there and we make, I know people have seen me fall out of trash cans and dig in trash cans, right? Coders aren't going to do that. But when I do that, that brings people onto the platform, and then they find out about coders and what they do, right? So culture is the bridge between regular people and the blockchain. This documentary is going to bridge that gap. The game is going to bridge that gap. The music is going to bridge that gap. And together, with your guys' help, we're going to bridge that gap. And like being said, we have people behind us that believe in this documentary. And Virtual Growth, he believes in us so much that he's going to be with us this month, August 21st to the 23rd. And I'm pretty sure you hear a little bit about that from him. I actually have a team of people behind us. So me and Beans have decided to stop being selfish with the love and extend the riches to people beyond the Votu brand. So we actually have a team, and that consists of Ron Donson and Mackenzie Gary. And if you guys know those two names, you guys know that they are very hardworking people in the community and doing great things. And I would ask that people.
I could just see people in the chat. I think they were offended by what you said about social skills.
Okay, like, let's be honest, guys, and I'm not gonna lie. I can probably talk to anybody. And I've talked to pretty much everyone. I can talk to a 70-year-old man about crypto, and he'll join. I can talk to a 9-year-old kid about crypto, and he's going to join. I can talk to someone who hates crypto, and he's going to join. God damn it! You give me 10 days, I can make him love Steem.
Honestly, we can't say that about everyone because we can't say that about me. But definitely, between the two of us, we seem to be working magic.
I look forward to it, by the way.
And we all know
you're
that
speaking
magic
to a
is
virtual person might be a challenge.
And we all know that magic is another word for technology, right? So once we understand that concept, we're all good and going. Now,
I still think it's magic.
Now, what does it mean to sponsor us? What does it mean to put money behind us? Now, I get it, right? We've had some incidences in the past where people have come onto this beautiful platform and asked you guys for something and then ran away. Let me assure you that me and Beans have been here for a very long fucking time. And we've been through those times with you guys, right? And we're here telling you that we're not those guys, and we're not the guys that will come on here and do that shit. So what it means by sponsoring us is that your name, your advertisement will be in the movie, it'll be in the music, we have to talk about it. We can talk about clothes deals. I'm going to make clothes for communities or specific anything. We're open for business and we're willing to do business. And I would just like to give a shout out to Walrus and Fuzzy, who have actually shown initiative and got behind it. And Walrus, those clothes are actually being shipped out to you this morning.
Right, exactly.
For being very patient.
If you run any kind of business that accepts Steem or any kind of cryptocurrency, those are the kind of things that we're going to be covering in the documentary and the movie and our series as we're traveling around, because we'll be looking for places that accept crypto just for the sake of the travel vlogs as well. So anywhere, any of those things that you want to be on, if you're a sponsor, you get in there first, basically.
Now you guys might be thinking, well, I'm a coder. What does that mean? So let's say you put some money behind us and we talk, and I'm going to do an episode that's going to be funny on the travel vlog. Maybe you don't want to get on the documentary tip, right? Okay, so maybe I'll hold a sign that represents your project in a crowded place to something very goofy to bring attention, right? There's multiple things that we could do to promote people and their projects to regular people who aren't on the blockchain, and that's what we're dedicated to doing, because the more people that come to the blockchain, the better for us. And overall, that's just how it is, and that's how it's always going to be. And I realize this, which is why I've taken the initiative to just stop posting content from my house and get out of my house and take a risk. And me and Beans will be, we're so dedicated that even if we don't get the funding that we need, we're going to pretty much put our SP that we've earned this time on the bounds and put it all into this documentary and this media, because we believe in it. And regardless if people believe in it now, they're going to have to believe in it when it comes out, because it's going to be something that no one else is doing, and it's going to shape and change Steem and the blockchain forever. Thank you. I'm so much the host, one of the coolest ever.
And
if there's any questions, free to ask questions.
Well, with that said, I hate to interrupt this, but I will say that we are at 15-minute mark. If you have a value proposition to bring to add extra minutes and power that up, you're more than welcome to do so. Feel free to let me know if that's the case. If not, please feel free to let people know how to reach out to you after the hangout.
Yeah, I want 30 seconds, B. How much does that cost?
How much does that cost?
Yeah, so 30 seconds.
Well, should we not ask if we have any questions?
No, I got this. 30 seconds, watch.
No, all I'm saying is we have up to 10 minutes. You're more than welcome to use BeyondBits if you've earned them, to share drop on the people who are listening in and who are participating in this conversation.
Oh, to share drop. How do you do a share drop?
You just donate the tokens to me, and I'll give them to the people who sign the guest list at the end of this hangout.
Oh, okay.
Sounds good. All right, so here's the 30
you guys
seconds.
Want another 5 minutes?
I just need 30 seconds.
Well, then you can do it for free, man. Let everybody know how to reach you.
No, I see. I need 30 seconds, so I'm not talking about that. All right, so yes, we're gonna take any kind of cryptocurrency as a donation, and like I said, anything will get you guys in the credits. We're gonna show love to anyone. So anything from 0.001 Steem to 1 Steem to 1,000 Steem. Of course, different donations will get you different levels, but you know how it is. And if you donate enough, you get your own clothes. Promise that. That's bet money. You can reach out to us on Steem It, so much the host being Steem the chat, so much the host, Discord, and the Vote Discord. Love you guys. West Coast.
Follow Votu.
West Coast
Perfect.
does the most. Thank you very much for joining up, and we'll go and talk next with Emerge, who's joining up to talk about the Steem Pay app that is kind of being resurrected and maybe renamed and rebranded in the future, and perhaps some extra secret things that Emerge would talk about today or in the future. But with that said, Emerge, are you available?
First of all, we got our inspiration from Steem Pay. That's right. I've been looking around Steem, and I've been looking around for solutions for different use cases of Steem. And one of those would be the payments use case for Steem. Because I've always seen Steem not only as a community, not only as a community facet, but also as a means for payment. Since Steem was meant originally to be not only as a community, but also as a full ecosystem. This was done. I don't really know if it's Dan's official vision for the community. But for me, if he added this feature into Steem, this would have been one of the visions of Dan. Anyway, one of the few things we've done, me and his name is Leo Orpilia. He's been my partner since 4 years ago, and we decided to work on Steem together. Recently, we decided to work on Xerox library called Piston, and we decided to make a payments application. Due to Leo's superior programming skills and my connections, we were able to establish a partnership, and we were able to work on a new app called Vapor. And the reason we called it Vapor was because it was both integrated from Steem, and at the same time, we wanted to make it open enough to be able to communicate with people from outside the Steem community. You see, we don't want to limit it from Steem, but since we wanted to market it and use it outside of Steem, like in my country called the Philippines, it's a third world country where the most is unbanked. We wanted to use Steem and most cryptocurrencies outside of the cryptocurrency. So we used SBD, Steem-backed currency, Steem-backed dollars, and Steem to use as a currency in the app and accept it as a currency instead of a commodity in merchant payments. So we decided to first of all make an API which communicates with Steem's blockchain, and a front end which allows users to easily communicate with the front end. So Vapor, first of all, allows us to take Steem Pay's core functionality, which is receive payments. So we allow that. We completely allow everything that you want to do, receive payments and redirect you. We want to allow receiving payments and alerting you. We want to do all that sort of stuff. But not just that. We want to be able to provide a storefront. We want to be able to provide a front end. And we want to be able to provide a service. I've talked to my partner and my angel investor, Howie Balino, who is a Dutch Filipino. And he's very stoked in the idea. He wants to be able to help out with the ICO, which we are planning. And this ICO will not just be a crowdfunding event, but will also be a reward. The token that we'll be funding with will also be used a reward using the merchants platform. This merchants platform will be established and will be used to market our platform. Since we're not just a merchants and payments platform, we're also a loyalty platform. We want to be able to provide everything we can provide to the outside, and we want to provide this in the best way. However, right now, we are in its earliest developments. We strive to be able to complete this development. We've talked to Fuzzy and Alex Morris a significant amount of times, and we want to be able to improve continuously. Our first objective is to be able to provide a demo, and right now a demo is available using Expo. If you guys have used Expo before, you can follow at Leo Orpilla the third with an III, and you can follow his application called the Vapor app, and you'll be able to access the application right now. It's completely working without the send and receive payments API, since we don't want to be able to expose your keys. We're still discussing right now how we will be able to secure your keys. However, I believe myself that it's perfectly secure. We are still discussing how to make it more secure. See, we want to make this more mainstream, since we believe that blockchain is not just supposed to be limited to us. See, we're here in Whaletank because we know each other. We've been able to mingle with each other and talk with each other for a while, and we've been able to establish this project. That's why we listen to each other. But outside of this Mumble server, outside of this podcast, we're not able to communicate this with outside the world. I have many friends, I have many connections, but they don't know about this. It's because I've only been able to talk to you guys. But I believe that if we're able to establish this outside using my partner, Howie Rosvalino, we're able to communicate and market this not only to people who are unbanked in the Philippines, not only to the famous telco companies here in the Philippines like Smart and Globe telcos, who will be able to supply us with mobile data, but also around the world who are interested in delving into blockchain technologies, payments, and also the development. It's not just the movement of cash, it's not just the development of how we transport cash, but it's also the technology itself that we can develop on. And I believe that Steem, BitShares, and Graphene itself is a platform we can develop on. So I believe that now, though it may be just a prototype that you can access through Expo, I also believe that this is a way, this is how do you say, a path, something new that leads us to how to make blockchain technology mainstream. Because I know we're all nerds here. Knowing blockchain is not a normal thing. Knowing blockchain is not a normal thing. You know, bro, I know blockchain shit. I mean, and people will say, what the hell is that? When you say you know blockchain, the most simple way you could ever communicate it to anybody else is like torrents for payments. But if we're able to accomplish this project, we're able to make it mainstream. We're able to spread it not just to banks, but just to normal people like you and me. I know you guys are investors. I know you guys are just users. I know you guys are just listeners. But if we're able to make this work, we're able to communicate. We're able to spread it to everyone else. So yeah, I'd love to ask for your support from everyone in this conference room right now. But not only in this conference room, but from around the world. I'm asking for the support from everyone around the world. Any questions?
Before I start, anybody have any questions that they would like to ask? Okay, I personally have a couple questions. You say that you have a friend who is, or a person who's an investor and a supporter. Has he provided seed funding, and is there a talk that you guys are talking about regarding like what's going on behind the scenes with this this crowdfunding initiative?
Fuzzy, to be honest, he hasn't provided any funding at all, and everything we've been doing so far has been powered by BeyondBits. Everything we've been doing so far, even the server we've been developing on, since Windows hasn't been working well with Xerox library, has been powered by BeyondBits. Everything so far, every progress, every bit of progress on Vapor, or whatever we're going to be naming it in the future, has been powered by the blockchain of BitShares. And he may be interested in fundings in the future or joining our team. But to be honest, this project has been from the blockchain and for the blockchain this entire time.
Well, I'll say this, man. Stunned that you started producing things as quickly as you did after I gave you those Beyond Bits. It's been a very interesting to watch, because after the first time that the Steem community paid somebody for a Steem Pay app, he never delivered it and walked away with approximately $25K. And also, a person that I'm very close with and that a lot of people in the BitShares ecosystem really respect and appreciate and trust for good reason. The person who hurt them, or who offered this Steem Pay app and didn't do the work, they took a lot of his work and his to get them to a level where people would start putting money into it. And he made a lot of money and ran off. And for a fraction of what he was paid, you guys have this app at least at a basic level working, so people can actually test it, see it. And I personally, I'm just going to say, I don't see how community cannot want to support people who are building things like this, especially when we've had so many people who've been rewarded before they did the work. And I think that really should always try to hold close to ourselves as we move forward in this journey, because trust is more valuable than gold. It's more valuable than anything, really. If people can trust you to do what you say you're going to do, the risk-reward ratio becomes so beneficial for everybody involved that it's almost stunning. And I'll say this, man, I'm going to continue supporting you as long as you need to. And if you can't get funding any other way, BeyondBits is here. I look forward to it. And I don't know if you're allowed or able to talk anything about BitShares, but, well, let me go ahead and ask you, are you able to talk about BitShares at all as far as something like this?
Yeah. To be honest with you, just a few moments ago, I've been talking to my partner. He, for now, he's been functioning as just a front-end partner. However, he is quite capable of doing exactly what I've been doing the entire time. However, we've been dividing the workload. However, each of us are capable with doing what we're doing right now. So right now, I just want to keep you guys up to speed. Right now, we can do everything you guys want. We can accept payments. We can send payments. We can handle your private key securely. Not as securely as people would expect, but that's why we're needing help right now. But we can get transactions. We can basically power the app on its own. We can make a website that does everything your heart's desire. However, of course, we want to make a front end for the apps because we want to make this as user friendly as possible. However, your questions right now, we're basically at the end. We're pretty much messed up individuals who want to be as perfect as possible. Who want to we want to make Vapor perfect, even though the name itself is really shit. We decided that we would be working again, maybe from half of our progress. Since first of all, we wanted to start over from Vapor, since we realized from an unknown individual that Vapor could relate to vaporware, which means unfinished software relating to blockchain technology. And apart from that, we realized that due to recent events, Steem hasn't been exactly suitable for a long-term payments application. So after this Whaletank Hangouts, we, as a team of two, me and BlueMux, you guys can follow him at Steem at BlueMux, MUX, we decided that we'll be moving into the BitShares protocol using Xerox, a library called Optic. We'll be using that entirely to transition into BitShares for a while, and we'll be making a payments application just like Vapors, except not just using Steem and Steem-backed dollars. We will be using every single asset possible that will be accepted by OpenLedger's transfer service. We will be using Bitcoin, Ethereum, and LightShares, every single thing. After a few consultations, we realized that BitShares is the way to go. And it's to be honest, as a personal opinion, it's amazing to be seeing how we can be handling all sorts of payments from Steem all the way to Bitcoin. It's a really how do you say, encouraging. It's a really encouraging prospect that BitShares is enables us as developers to handle these payments. Not just because of its account-to-account payment system, but also because its speed in its transactions per second, in its block time, it's amazing. And apart from that, the BitShares community gets to communicate with us a lot. This is very, very exemplified by Fuzzy himself. But apart from that, everyone who I asked questions for, I asked questions from so far, have answered my questions in a very timely manner, in which I can develop exactly what the community demands. And that I believe that moving from Steem and Steem-backed dollars itself all the way to BitShares is the way to go, since I'm able to handle both Steem and Steem-backed dollars, but also BitShares, Bitcoins, and every other cryptocurrency and other user-issued assets.
Shout to you.
Oh, well, anyone can contact me through the Discord. Most people here would probably be contact me from WhaleShares. They know me from Discord as at Emerge. My name here is the same exactly the same as at Steemit and at Discord, and everybody can contact me through there. if anybody would like to talk to me, I'm always open, and I'm always open to suggestions, and I'm always open to questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's one of the projects that I am extremely pumped about, and I can tell by looking just at our list of attendees today that these projects just keep getting cooler and cooler because we keep getting people who are more interested in really building and building in a hardcore way. So I thank you very much for joining up and being part of that team, Emerge. Now, with that said, since you don't have a token yet, Emerge, unfortunately, there's really the only way that you could buy extra time would be by share dropping on to holders or onto guests with BeyondBitcoin, BeyondBits. So if you wish to do that, you're more than welcome to buy 5 to 10 more minutes of time. But if not, feel free to let me know and we can move on to the next project.
All right. As a final statement, I'd like to say that in the near future, I would like to decide into making a ICO using the BitShares platform, since I would like to make a rewards platform, but also I would like to be able to power my application and at the same time use the BitShares platform. That's all I want to say. Thank you very much, Fuzzy.
No, thank you. And I thank you to all of you for being part of this. We're very grassroots. We have, a lot of the resources I put into building other stuff instead of this. maybe I shouldn't do that quite as much, but man, how do I not give to the people who are going to be building all this stuff? So thank you for being here and being part of that for all of you guys, because you guys make this possible. Your sharing of our content, your helping of one another, really benefits our entire community in ways that are not always quantifiable and sometimes so mind-bogglingly large that it's stunning that you didn't see it coming. But I will just say that you guys really do open up a lot of value that might not always be blatantly obvious to the person who's just passing by. But for those who are really looking, they can find gold nuggets. And with that said, I'll go ahead and I'm going to move on to Patalinko, who is going to be talking about Inspiration, a token that she wants to make. And she is one of the little gold nuggets in the WhaleShares community who is always helping people and always inspiring people. So I would like to give you the opportunity, Patalinko, to start up with your 15 minutes.
Before that, can I just say something? One last thing.
Of course.
I love you, Patalinko. And at the same time, thank you, PNC, for supporting us. I love you guys.
In these days now, when everything becomes so crazy, especially last 2 weeks, I definitely need and think that the people need some inspiration. And I see everybody make great effort to change the world and to change the system, but very few are actually trying to change Steem it. Everyone is so focused on bringing here new people, but not many are caring for these new people once they are here. So I'm trying to invent a new initiative, which is called Inspire the People. So these new people, they come here, they block, and they come with the idea that they will become rich, maybe in days, maybe in more, but most of them get very disappointed in time. And these people actually, they are leaving. So I think I may have a solution for this, and this is a way that we help everyone, and everyone will benefit from it. The inspiration token actually will be used to reward the people for act of kindness. My first task in this token is very simple. You can find a spam user in Steemit and inspire him to change this behavior and to start block reasonable, not just short, not valued content, which not gonna bring him nowhere. So if many people try to change this, I think the atmosphere in Steam, it will be totally changed to in positive way. So the positivity and kindness will spread more through the community, and this will be something like a chain. If you do a good, you'll be rewarded, but you inspire someone else also to do good. So it will be something like a pay forward. The second usage of the inspiration token, because of course there it has to be some value proposition of it. It is great when you reward people for good things and for kindness, but you also have to think about that this coin will have some value. So my proposition value is for everyone who is today here in this Whaletank. So I plan to use this inspiration token for promote people in Steemit. Not only a projects, also every new deserving user. And these people need to be noticed. And you and your old projects also needs to be noticed. I like every one of the projects here, but some of them are totally not popular in Steemit. I don't know what is the reason, but can you imagine if you can get like many people to write things about your project? So as many people write, so many people will read it. So my proposition is that you can exchange or trade your tokens to get inspiration tokens and get your project promoted. I will do this in several ways. I will run tasks in Steemit, inspiration task, which the people will have to write about your project. They will have to know the details on it, and they will need to inspire other people to join. Also, you have a BeyondBitcoin radio show when you can introduce yourself and your project too. And this will be also possible for the users in Steemit to get this promotion based on them blogging and based on the support they give to the Steemit and to the Steemit community.
I think that a lot of people underestimate the value in Steemit of sharing one another's content. And I think that having the ability to tie that to a token is a very strong value proposition that people might not necessarily always look at, because there's this whole syndrome that I like to talk about when the only tool you have is Steam power, that every project, it's kind of like if every tool that you have, if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail, right? So apply that to Steam power, and everybody who's in to the Steemit ecosystem or GoLos or Yao, one of the things they're going to have to come to terms with and learn about and remind themselves is that Steam power is one value proposition, but their interaction and their sharing of one another's content and what they care about is so extremely valuable and maybe not quite as easily quantifiable. It's going to be, yes, like Padalenko said, but will be an ad, like a future contract for ads. But I think it's a really cool idea. Let me ask you a question. How exactly, if I am wanting to earn these, would I find which projects I can earn them for? Or how would I approach you to get them if I've done something of value?
Okay, first of all, people always can contact me in Discord. I'm almost 12 hours per day in WhaleShares server. Many of you know this. Also, everyone can contact me through Steemit. But about the projects, guys, this won't be a random promotion. It will be for people that deserve. There will be a contests in which I will give for free these tokens. And believe me, your personality and your projects, they will play a role in it. It won't be just you pay and you get and you have it. I mean, it's not how I plan to works.
And they can turn around and even trade those on the DEX for tokens that are usable for other things. Is that going to be the case, or is it going to be a non-tradable token? Have you guys thought about that?
Okay, I will explain this situation too. So there is another usage which I plan to add to this future, but first, of course, I have to get this running. My proposition is like this. If you pay me with your own token, like many of you here, they have already built a token. If you pay me for this promotion with your own token, I would do a free share drop for everyone who is holding inspiration token on end of the every month. So this is another usage which I think is giving value to the token to just hold it. Of course, I would like in the future to be able to add upvote to these things, but according to my account right now, I cannot do it. And I upvote everything positive and inspiration, which is coming through Steemit. So no, Manish, I don't want to find the content writers. I want the people to write by heart because they like it, because they support it. And this, you always can see this in a post. Have you realized that if you don't type anything from your heart, it's looking so flat in words?
Yes.
Other questions? Just to answer to that the people see, Robin Hood asked me if I'm gonna do a separate Discord for it. I don't think there is needing a separate Discord because the positive and inspiring people, they're all over around. I mean, I don't want to group of people. I want that everybody will be able to join with small things of kindness, like help someone, like give advice. This can be done in many ways, in Steemit, in real life too, because I want to start from Steemit and make for Steemit a better place. I mean, it's a good start, I think.
I think it's a wonderful start, and using something like Steemit it's a great funnel to get people started into the crypto space. And what you're doing is you're essentially using that funnel, creating another token, and you're doing something that no one else has really done before. Everybody else has been focusing so much on delegation of Steem power and receiving that delegation. And what you're doing is really leveraging the value of using an account that is very well trusted and well known, that people are more likely to look at their posts as advertising space, or a way to actually get some ads in addition to helping people, right?
Yes, I would also reward well-known Steemians. I mean, there is some very well-known, like keen people, and I would try to contact them in order that we promote other people too. I mean, they are already enough promoted, isn't it so? People with 4,000 or 5,000 followers, they can afford to promote a person per week or a project per week. They will be also rewarded for it.
Does anybody have any questions or comments regarding this?
guys, you who have a project here and who wants to get these projects noticed, okay, maybe I'm not the most popular person in Steemit. Maybe it's so, but there is some start, and there will join more people, and we really can change the world.
I agree.
Yeah, I would agree with Walrus. You're pretty popular. A lot of people know you, and I'll just make it clear that WhaleShares is it's probably dang near 1,800 people right now, and out of all the Discord servers I know of, it's got the most active on there. Last time I checked, there was over 250 active members who are live and working in there. I'm not talking sock puppet accounts created at a non-Steem and things like that. I'm talking about legitimately like hardworking, caring, real people who are trying to build something valuable. And I believe what you're going to see, Padalinko, is as you do this, more and more valuable people are going to be bringing their value propositions to you. And I do see this as something that if you stick with it, it will probably grow substantially.
Okay, for now I will let the Discord because it's easy to reach me there on any time. And I want to say something. I appreciate very much the people that join here today and the people that support these projects. So my first, I want to do this by example. So my first thing, what I will do, is I want to donate from this inspiration token for all the people that joined today and that had the patience to listen to every project, add the questions and add the value to it. Because as many people listen, this more popular is one project.
And thank you very much. And I will definitely be following this. I look forward to hearing more about it. And yes, like Steem Power Pix says, this is how we grow community. So thank you very much. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to stop everybody here and I'm going to give you the guest list to sign today. Please let me know if you have a lifetime membership or not. If you do have a lifetime membership, I will probably be giving you a little bit of a bonus that you'll be seeing to your account. Now, with that said, if you do not have a lifetime membership and you say you do, and I notice that you don't, you will receive nothing. But everybody who did attend this hangout today will be getting some Beyond Bits from me at the very least. Unfortunately, the post was downvoted to 0. So normally the ability to say, okay, I've earned 400 Steem dollars, I'm going to put it into 400 Beyond Bits to split up is not the case, but I'm going to give 400 Beyond Bits regardless, split up amongst all of the speakers for today. Now, with that said, the magic word when signing this is going to be Whaletank. And I appreciate everybody who comes here to help us with this Whaletank. And I'll go ahead and I'll move on to Virtual Growth, who's going to be talking about some stuff with app trades today. But I obviously am not the speaker, so I will go ahead and I'll say, VG, it's all your floor, buddy.
Thank you very much, Fuzzy. I'm going to squeeze a whole bunch of stuff. I don't have much time to talk today. I'm always busy lately. People know I haven't been around. So the giveaways are delayed. There's going to be a BTS trading contest, so people will get prize tokens. I'm working on that. I'll catch up with that over the next week. Vote to blockchain documentary. Thank you very much to Solange, the host, who's going to interview me first. We'll be meeting up in Vegas. And there will possibly be a Steem and Crypto meetup as well, so I'll have more details about that. Also, thank you to Mr. Wang and everybody else, of course. I was at Smart Money representing Open Ledger 2 weeks ago. You can read my post for more. Next weekend, going to D10E, which is the leading conference on decentralization. You'll be able to see more about that when I post about it. I'm going to hand the floor over to Daniel to talk about BitShares documentation and other things. Otherwise, I just wanted to mention that it's my 1 year anniversary 5 days ago, and I had a post with all sorts of stuff that I've done over the past year. Lots of fun. I'm up 1,981 followers. And also working on a Steem loan idea that's being explored, where an account can be held for collateral, and as if people are in Steem, it can be used to pay back the account while it's being held by somebody, which is me. But I'm going to hand over the floor to Daniel now, and he can take over.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Perfectly. It's nice to hear you, Dan.
Well, what's up, Fuzzy? How are you?
I'm wonderful and busy, probably just like
Thanks a lot for Virtual for the floor, and thank you, BitShares community, for sticking around here for this update. A lot of updates actually regarding app trade, but I don't want to emphasize too much about app trade. I'm very much more interested in this BitShares documentation, as Virtual mentioned. About past few months, we've garnered some attention from multiple businesses and potential partners and people that we want to employ. And there's always a point reached where I send them the documentation for BitShares, because as everyone knows, just a really quick rundown, I'm the creator of AppTrade. We're building a decentralized exchange. It's a digital goods market. It's like a stock market, but for apps and games, marketing, funding, and acquisition. So there's digital goods sites out there that allow you to trade in the cash value of your game or your source code. But most of them only have a list and sell model, and we're doing a list manage sell, so we can increase the price of your digital good while it's listed through a portfolio incubation. Most content creators can't take their collateral to a local bank for a loan, so they can come to AppTrade and team up with other publishers into portfolios where they vote each other into each other's portfolios. Or if you think you have the inventory to swing it, you can launch your own, and then you take in votes to add apps to your portfolio. And investors, or aka sponsors, like the platform concept because they get to diversify their risk across a group of ideas. And the publishers will like it because they get to bundle their collateral into a shared digital reserve, where each publisher would contribute a portion of their earnings into a digital escrow, and the platform would use that escrow to attract funding. And in our experience, we recently came back from Denmark. We took a trip out to hang out with the Open Ledger team, and I'm now effectively the former CEO of AppTrade for an incubation period of 2 years. We've rolled AppTrade into Open Ledger, so now it's formerly known as AppTrade. It's now Open Ledger's AppTrade, APS, and the ink is still drying on that. And basically now we're fully funded. The last time we came on here, we weren't, and we were in the middle of our ICO. And I'm really happy to report, and I also want to thank I know there's some supporters in this room out there that are holding APPX tokens, so I really thank you for your support and for your patience as we deal with this transition where now we're hired a bunch of consultants, advisors, new UX designers, front end, and now we're seeking back end. And part of this worker proposal that we want to put through is first, before we even move forward with AppTrade, I think it's just a benefit. I've been hearing through the grapevine that we're not the only ones that want this update to the BitShares documentation. And we're willing to go ahead and do a one-to-one match, dollar for dollar, to get this pushed forward, because it's something that we hired a team of technical writers, and the lead on that her name is Jocelyn, and she's been reporting that there are some, aside from the stack, the literature itself has some gaps, run-on sentences, grammatical errors, And in order for these businesses that we're attracting to feel comfortable pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into the BitShares ecosystem, the base architecture has to be well documented in a more, streamlined and succinct way. And that's basically what we're here to do, is just to get some feedback on what's the best way to approach this proposal, and to find someone that can help us, determine what's a reasonable rate for such a task to update the user documentation, the general BitShares documentation, who would be the person or people that can assist us with that. Should we update the documentation after each state of the network, or is that something that already happens? These are just my general questions that I have, and kind of like wondering what's the best way to approach this task. So obviously, if you have ideas or your contributions, or you're up for the challenge or for the opportunity, please contact Virtual Growth. He's now one of our advisors as well that we brought on, and we're really proud to have him. So we've definitely
You cut out.
Oh, my bad. I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the message here. If you want to read about the event of us getting funded by a Chinese exchange, Ronnie went on a tour in Shanghai. It was like a blockchain summit, and was able to attract some investors that put us over the edge, which is really cool because we got bundled with 3 other projects: Okash, eDev, and GetGame. And I like to take credit for giving them that idea, even though it hasn't been acknowledged officially that came from me. But just the idea of bundling projects does work in terms of what we want to do later on down the road is include a new category for portfolios where we bundle ICOs to help people kind of sift through these. But that's a different topic. I want to more emphasize this documentation, and I guess the other half of this proposal is also to attract a BitShares developer, someone that has any full stack developers that have experience with React, anyone that has experience with Node.js, anyone with a deep back-end understanding. We absolutely would really appreciate your assistance in guiding us through, development. We have hired UX designers to handle the front-facing website that you will see now updated in the next couple of weeks for apptrade.io. And we hired some back-end devs to handle the front-facing website, but now the login, which would include the platform, we have the UX covered on that for the front end, but now we're looking for someone to bring that to life, to do the integration, implementation, integration, and then support after that. So that would be obviously part-time for anyone that wants to take a part-time. We have a budget for that. Anyone who wants to come on full-time, we have a budget for that. So in the words of the great philosopher DJ Khaled, we global now, and we are fully funded, and we have the full support of the marketing and media and PR machinery of OpenLedger. And I'm now it's more of like an aqua hire, if people are familiar with that term, where our team got acquired. Everything, management stays in place, our governance stays in place. Nothing changes with how we operate. But now we have the difference is we now get to get rid of those stumbling blocks and all those growing pains that most startups go through. So we don't have to worry about wasting resources on pitching and looking for funding, and we don't have to worry about our marketing too much anymore as well. So now we get to fully focus on the building of AppTrade, AppTrade's DEX, basically. And in order to get help from that, we need a BitShares developer. But I feel that before we even, or in parallel to that, it would make much sense to also update the documentation, especially since we're attracting. Now we started with apps, but now we're attracting businesses that have cash flow from industries like mining, gold mining, refineries, the cannabis industry, and real estate. And as you can imagine, many of these groups have their own boards, they have attorneys, they have their own developers and engineers, and many of them are also saying the same thing about the documentation, about how it's incomplete. It could be done better, or in their words. So yeah, that's what the purpose of this documentation is. We're willing to put our money where our mouth is to get it to finance half of that proposal. So we invite you to join us.
Cool. I really am glad that you guys are continuing to do what you're doing, and that I'm glad to see that Virtual Growth is working with you guys as well. Really quickly, I would like to say that the best place to probably talk about the worker proposals, or potential payment rather, would be through worker proposals. And Xerox now has the BitShares Foundation that is going to be acting as an escrow agent for worker proposals. So that might be one of the best routes moving forward to get that funding, because I know that our community is now starting to make a real push toward getting worker proposals to a place where people are actually able to start getting meaningful work from the blockchain and getting some level of funding to be able to do that work. And I'm pretty sure, Dan, that no one here will disagree with you on the documentation. The documentation has been something that has been largely very grassroots, and Xerox and maybe a few helpers over the course of time have been the ones who have largely done that, and have also largely done that out of their own time and pockets. So I will say that. Oh, good.
I also reached out to Xerox a little bit yesterday, so he's going to compile the information because he has it in a different format, so it'll be easier for some people to work with, and I'll talk to him more as well and just help collaborate this all together.
Well, thank you very much. VG, I think that's probably the best route moving forward. And I don't even know if it would be necessary to put up half, but that would be something that would probably be worth talking about to the actual worker proposal, the community. So I'll urge you guys to join up to t.me/BTS workers, and definitely make sure to post all that stuff there. I see you in there, VG. You're everywhere too, buddy. So
I'll be posting more information in there soon.
Sounds good.
And I actually disagree with what you just said there. I think it's absolutely crucial for us to finance half of it, to get people's attention, because I think this is something that's been like moving slow like molasses, and no one has really triggered the ability to get this done. And I verbalized this in person to a few to ask them, to do this, but maybe everyone's busy. So maybe if we actually put up and match dollar for dollar and let people know that we are funded ourselves and we're willing to fund the funding of this as well, half of that, so that we can approach the community in a way that it's not us just asking for something with empty hands. And I'm not suggesting that's what people are doing, but this is just our approach, because we have like this move for our businesses that want to join on board. And also probably want to build on top of the network in their own right down the line. But in order for them to feel comfortable to move forward, partnering with, like, jumping on board as workers, employees, vendors, they all could use a better documentation, a better blueprint to start understanding what BitShares is. And I think by matching dollar for dollar, it's very important to let people know that this is a huge priority for us, to ensure that I think they would also not just improve app trade, but or benefit app trade, but just the other projects that are trying to communicate their message to the world.
Well, I really love what you guys are doing. I think that documentation is essential, and I know for a fact my father, my father is a full stack dev, and when I showed him the documentation and he started reading through it, he gave me pretty much the exact same input that you have received, industry players. So I think that we should really start thinking about this now that BitShares has hundreds of million or 100 million plus that can be put towards things, right?
Right.
I'd say this is probably a foundational one. You know, like if you're going to build something, you got to build a strong foundation. It's worth it to put a little extra money into it. We should probably do that, and the payback is going to be huge. Because when you get the documentation into the hands of excellent developers, you can give them great documentation that makes it so they're hitting the ground running, or you can cut off their legs and tell them to crawl. I think that we should have them running. So.
I agree. And to ensure that not just the person or the people involved that are updating get paid, we also want to create a bounty for anyone that brings us these people, so that there will be a reward or a fee for just recommending people to this proposal. That'll be a part of that, so that we can really kickstart that engine.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to let you know that right now we have just hit about 30 seconds ago the 15-minute mark. So if you guys have anything else to say, you have two options at this point. You can power up and give yourself an extra 10 minutes by share dropping on the people in this hangout with a token of significance to yourself that you guys are working with, or you can cut it off for this week and consider yourself welcome to join up every week thereafter and take your free 15 minutes to stand in the sun and let everybody know what you're doing.
For sure. We can end it here. This is really good. I appreciate everybody. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Fuzzy, and thanks, Virtual, for putting this together as well. And we global.
Thank you very much, everyone. Just want to add Extraordinary Pilot. Thank you from So Lunch, the host. He just asked me to add that in. If people want to reach out to me, you can reach out to Virtual Growth. You can find me on Discord because I'm on many channels there, and also steemit.chat. And thank you very much. I'll be in touch with everybody and look forward to everything.
And that name is Virtual Growth, and that is 2 words with no space in between.
Correct.
All right. Well, with that said, is Chief Mapster here today? Are you able to talk?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Channel, 3 beans.
I'll go ahead and let you.
Lunchbox, winky face, unmuted. You were unmuted and undeafened by Fuzz New. Channel,
So what we're going to tell you to do, buddy, unfortunately, we cannot cover you today because it's going to take a while to get you set up. I'm sure that it's not just one thing. But with that said, if you want to, I can push you back to the end, or you can do it next week. Either way is up to you. But unfortunately, we're going to have to skip you until you get that figured out. Up next is going to be B, and that's going to be Crypto Hippie, aka Forrest Willie. He'll be joining to give some updates on the Purity Network. And I will go ahead and I'll ask you, Crypto Hippie, aka Forrest Willie, if you are there and available to speak. Okay, looks like Crypto Hippie is not available. So with that said, we'll go ahead and move on to the Smoke Network.
Can you hear me?
We will move on to the Smoke Network. And Extraordinary Pilot, are you the one who is going to be talking about this? Because it is a different name than we have on Steemit. Okay, well, I'm going to take a word from Alex, and I'm going to say, ironically, we are back to you, Chief Mapster. And I'll go ahead and I'll unmute you. I hope you've gotten everything figured out.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, my bad. First time using Mumble.
It's okay.
But my plan was just gonna use like 1 to 2 minutes to talk about Steemit gaming and then answer some questions because it's kind of a big idea. So I think I'm probably gonna bring more value with answering questions.
Sounds
if
good.
That's cool with you. But Steemit gaming is basically just us changing the education system. The current system is broken. Everybody knows it. So people, instead of having people pay for it and treating it like work, we're changing it so it's actually a game. Each level, like grade level, is a game, and then the grades are not points. So that's the token I'm looking to create, is something called points. So that way we can actually rank people by giving them points that we tied to the WhaleShares. Let's see. The different games are curation games, commenting games, and then creating content. So if you're on Steemit and doing those 3 things, you can learn. Like curating, we'll post a quick question. For example, the one I use is like, what's the difference between marketing and branding? And then the gamers, we call them gamers instead of students, go find an article on Steemit that would best answer that, re-Steem it, and then the judges or the people, the leaders will use this token tied to the WhaleShares or BitBeyond called points to vote instead of a grading scale. So vote on the responses, and that's just one style for the curation. Commenting would be very similar. A question we posted on a thread, and the best comments would be rated based and voted on with that same token. And then creating content would be, just writing posts based off whatever the question on that game that day is or that week. We're really just trying to gamify learning, make it fun, and feel like you're not going to work. So, but yeah, any questions, I'm here to help.
So before I start, I will say, does anybody have any questions or comments regarding this specific topic?
I love
this
this specific topic. I think education is, as you said, broken and needs to be fixed, and is the way to go about it. So, that's my comment for that. But yeah, you're doing.
Yeah, it's definitely. This is a place that I actually have spent the majority of my quote unquote studying time in my life, other than maybe Bitcoin. I'm a little bit rusty on this one compared to Bitcoin these days, but one of the things that is amazing about gamification and learning is that one of the biggest struggles for people who are learning is just starting out and fearing failure. The fear of failure itself oftentimes is what holds people back from evolving and growing and taking the risks that are required to evolve and grow. So one of the cool things that experts in this space kind of look at is the value of gamification. And if you think about a person who is playing a video game, they're not afraid to go up and fight that monster and fail, right? As a matter of fact, the process of growing is a series of failures and then overcoming those failures, ironically, is very much how games are designed. Now, when you add into the situation a communal type of environment where people are using something called scaffolding, where they're looking at each other's expertise and leveraging that to lower the risk for learning. For instance, if I'm learning from Xerox about something in blockchain space, it's less risky for me if I have a guru or somebody who knows something more than I do next to me, right? So when you have gamification of learning and you have a collection of people who gather together at the same time to use this, you have this extremely powerful synergy that can come from it. You can actually teach people things very well and make it so they remember them much better through something called experiential learning, as opposed to what they call in this sphere of psychology and stuff, they call it rote memorization, is the kind of the opposite of that, right? Where you have flashcards and you just say, I'm going to stuff information into my head and hopefully I'll remember it. But humans don't really work that way. We do to a degree, but we need meaning to really assign a memory, a strong memory to something. So when we create meaning and when we actually push forward together, we also create this sense of camaraderie and this sense that the risk is very much lower and that the benefits are much higher. And when you do that, you're breaking down that barrier that often holds us back from growing, that often holds us back from going out and fighting the demons in that fantasy world, or, in the real world that we deal with, right? Because that's a very strong platform, a foundation to build your or individual people's perception of the world into something where you don't fear trying. You don't fear bringing that value. I said, I have much more input. I know that you're talking and that you're interested in this stuff, obviously. So I'll go ahead and I'll open up your mic again because you don't have push talk enabled yet. But just so you know, whenever you get muted, that's why. I'll be fixing that. But that's all good. And I'll open you up right now and feel free to give any input that you'd like.
In my brain, because it's exactly what I'm trying to get people to overcome their fear of learning, because it seems like whenever I talk to people about new subjects, they're automatically defensive, and it's because they've been programmed a certain way or they're afraid because they never learned about it. And the best way to get over that fear, because I believe fear is not real, is just to actually play it in the game. Like you said, you're not afraid of video games, and even in sports and games like that, you lose your fear because you're in a game. So by having them in a game for 15, 30 minutes, hour a day, maybe we can use that time to really help them learn and progress and hopefully help the community too. Because I feel like we should reward the people that are here first that really do like the community. So I feel like by starting it now and having one game, working out the kinks, and then expanding from there, we should be able to help a lot of people.
Well, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, do you guys have a token? Is there going to be a token involved in this in some way? How will the motivation come?
That's the goal. Kind of talking to you, and I talked to JP. It was initially going to be called something else, but we really think just by keeping it simple, like points, you get points in games, and just calling it points, like POINTS, as a token, based off WhaleShares or BeyondBit, and that way we can vote on a scale based on the responses. So curation based on the best curated responses. Comments, the best comment. And then the best content creator, we can vote with that on a sliding share just like you do percentage-wise. So instead of like 90% for an A, you would get 90% vote or something like that. So that's what we're thinking about right now.
I like the idea.
But for a little bit.
Could you say that again?
So, we don't have any tokens, so I've been trying to get one listed for a little bit. So any help would definitely be appreciated.
I'll gladly talk to you about it behind the scenes. I'll gladly talk to you about it behind the scenes. It's something that it costs a little bit of money, but for projects that I feel are very important, I don't mind fronting that. But I am interested to hear the value proposition, and see some of it in action, at least a little bit, before I start doing that. So of course, I'll front you up the token if we talk about it behind the scenes and you give me the full rundown. It's going to probably take an hour or so it's not going to be a 15-minute thing in here. But I'm very interested in helping you if that's something that you're interested in doing. Wow. Are you a drummer? Okay. Well, thank you very much, Chief Mapster. Is there anything else that you would like to say about your project today?
No, it's just a small team. We've actually been working on it for about 5 years now. Different forms. We've been working on it. It was called Mobile Organized Business, but we really didn't have a platform for it that was based on curation, commenting, and creating content, make it as easy and user-friendly as this Steem it. So really, it's a blessing to have Steem, and we thank everybody involved in making this possible. So we're really looking forward to helping a lot of people, and that's what we're about. So thank you again.
Well, thank you to you for building this for 5 years, first off, because whatever you guys are doing, 5 years is a long time to be working on something, I know. And especially when it's not, you're never able to quite get it completely finished because no task ever seems to really be finished. But it's cool to see that you guys are starting to evolve with this project that started elsewhere, and now it's starting to come into the Steemit ecosystem and using this. So I'm very interested in it, man, and I look forward to hearing more about it behind the scenes. You can always reach out to me at BeyondBitcoin@gmail or Official Fuzzy on the WhaleShares Discord. I do check in there throughout the day. Please feel free to reach out to me, and we could talk about that token. But we'll probably end up talking about quite a bit more. With that said, does anybody have any questions or comments other than myself regarding this topic or Crypto Hippie? Because Crypto Hippie did speak up as well.
I do. Are you going to be working with other schooling projects to make it a good push, or are you going to be doing it by yourselves?
It doesn't really matter to us. We're just trying to help as many people as possible. So if the goals and the missions are the same, yeah. But we're all about positivity, no ego, anything like that. We're about helping the community. So as long as that's all there, then we're definitely down. We're trying to help as many people as possible. So yeah, definitely looking for help and partnerships.
Do you feel like that answers your question?
Yep. Thank you, sir.
Cool. Does anybody else have any question? Okay. Well, Chief, it looks like there's no questions currently. I have so many questions, but unfortunately there's only 1 minute and 40 seconds left in this segment. And my questions will guarantee you span 1 to 3 hours. And so we will probably have to do that behind the scenes. Crypto Hippie and I have talked about this stuff quite a bit in the past as well. Utilizing cryptocurrency and gamification for learning is one of the most powerful use cases in existence. I don't care what anybody says about it. Otherwise, there's so much proof to it that it's insane if you really go out and research it. Video games and gamification in general, it really does add this extra element that almost solidifies learning. If you think about riding a bike or anything that you've done, that you've actually done it, experiential knowledge, right? These types of things are extremely powerful in terms of being able to remember and recall in a useful way information that is available for you to kind of master, right? So with that said, if anybody wants to reach out to you and talk to you about this because they're also very passionate about this, how would they do so?
I'm a chief mapster on Steem, and I'm on Discord most of the day, between 10 and 14 hours a day, so you can reach out to me. I'm part of the OCD curation, so I'm in there a lot, and then also the Steem Poker League, so I'm active with that, and it's also with the Beat Battle. So, but I'm also, you can just hit me up on email, which is chiefmapster@gmail.com. I set one up for everybody, and then I'm usually on Discord, pretty easy to find me, so I'm here to help. Just reach out.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to talk to you more about I think, like Fuzzy said, it's about powerful use of blockchain technology, in my opinion, as well. Incentivizing learning. And so, anyways, I don't want to take up time, but I'll be emailing you.
Sounds good. That is chiefmapster@gmail.com, and it is spelled CHIEF, M as in Mary, APP, S as in Sierra, T as in Tango, ER @gmail.com. So thank you very much, Chief Mapster. And I could talk to people with these types of ideas all day, and I think that these are some of the most profound use cases that we're going to see looking into the future. I even believe that it's possible that we will see students go through school and earn money for college using cryptocurrency potentially. So there's a lot of use cases, and I look forward to hearing a lot more from you guys about this stuff.
Looking forward to it. Thank you again for all you do, Fuzzy. Appreciate it.
Oh man, I'm not a talk show host. I've never been one. I've always been a group moderator. But I've loved putting together groups and trying to get them to do things that they believe in. I try not to be a boss. I just try to be an enabler. And I'm not talking enabling you to go buy crack cocaine rocks down in the square. I'm talking about something absolutely worth us looking at, and that's our own value, especially when humans synergize. Because don't forget, guys, synergy is something that is almost magical. It seems magical. And that's because humans are involved. And when you involve this type of synergy, and these people are creating synergy, they're going to build ideas into realities that a lot of these things couldn't have been planned by any single individual. So I look forward to seeing it, and I thank you for taking the time. And I look forward to seeing more of this in the future, and I'm sure everybody else does as well. Now, with that said, another individual is going to be speaking up today about something that is a pretty cool community-related project that is very much in the same vein as the last one, but is definitely different in its own ways. One being that it's its own blockchain, and another that it's not just education, it's focusing on a lot of different things. So rather than me sit back and talk about Purity, the activity network, however, I should probably give you, Crypto Hippie, the 15 minutes to go ahead and get started.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate you for having us on. So like you said, crypto is a powerful tool for all sorts of things, and we want to empower with purity and communities to learn and grow. And when I go to a meetup group, I learn quite a bit. And when I go to another meetup group where it's a different topic, I still learn. And for me, that's one of the big powers of purity so for those of you that don't know what it is, and I would imagine most of you guys do by now, we're incentivizing human interaction, and it can be anything from something like online, like this, what we're doing. We're trying to take it offline, and we would like to bring it to personal interaction between humans live, and it's a great thing that we're doing. I'm really excited about it, and we've been direction that that is gonna be helpful to everybody that wants to be involved, I think. So I have another person in here that's on the team. He's our CTO, and I'm gonna ask him to talk about the token that we're creating for our crowd sale. And so if he wants to speak, otherwise I'll keep going.
Can you hear me?
A few different options. Yeah, you're here.
I'm trying to figure out what button I have to hit to make it work.
You sound wonderful, Random.
Actually wonderful, or is it really broken up?
No, like wonderful.
Oh, so
actually really wonderful.
Fantastic. Because the internet here normally sucks. I was actually about to change networks just in case. Cool.
Sweet.
But I'm glad it's being nice to us. Just let me know if it decides to go back to being crappy like normal.
It certainly will.
So there's a couple of things that we can announce. So we're going to have an Ethereum crowd sale token that will be then converted into the official token. But because the official token is still currently built on Tendermint, that's not like something we can do on that blockchain yet. So the pre-sale will probably be one on Ethereum. We're working on that now. Crypto Hippie can answer more questions about the details of that, I think, later. We haven't finalized that contract, but when we do finalize it, it will be open source, and we will put it on GitHub. And we will have it up for review for transparency and all that jazz, because that's what you should do. So that'll be coming sometime in the near future. The other thing that came out of last week and looking into Ethereum smart contracts is a realization that current smart contract technology, I'm going to just be kind of blunt here, I think it absolutely sucks. And the reason why I think it sucks is the whole point, in my mind, of smart contracts is to get rid of intermediaries and bullshit. And if you look at Ethereum smart contracts of anything other than the most trivial complexity, you don't really get that. Because if I look, even me as a programmer, if I look at a smart contract, I can't promise that I know exactly what it does. Right? I'd have to be a real expert at Solidity to really know what I'm getting into. And if you're expecting normal people to make financial transactions and make agreements on these things, they need to be able to understand them just like normal contracts, right? I mean, certainly there are plenty of like evil lawyers who write really confusing English contracts, but if you were to take that same contract and turn it into computer code, I think it would be substantially worse. And so what we're working on as one of our side projects is a new smart contract language called Handshake. And the primary goal of that language is to be human readable by normal people and have them be able to read a contract and have a pretty good idea what it's going to do. I'm not going to say they're always going to have a perfect idea what it's going to do, but they can read it and say, okay, this seems to do this and this is reasonable.
So is it fair to say I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Is it fair to say that whenever you're looking at these smart contracts in Solidity, it was created from the ground up pretty much? It's very few people, even outside of the regular everyday dev and the people who are really digging into cryptocurrencies. Even them, it requires a lot of expertise and a lot of time to get to that point where you can be one of those people who can read it. And because of that, there's a lot of potential for these contracts to be misused and to hurt the users. And there's no way of them easily checking it.
Yeah, I mean, like recent hacks. So I was busy trying to learn Solidity right when the Parity wallet got hacked. And this flaw, when it happened, people realized there was no way to stop it. And the only way people's money was saved is that good hackers went and robbed everybody before the bad hackers could. And that's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
And that had been around for like 6 months, and the same code had been vetted by the best people available. And the thing was, it didn't actually surprise me because I was busy reading through best practices guides and trying to understand the security implications because these are financial transactions, right? Like, and the fundamental unsolvable problem in my mind for Solidity, I mean, they could maybe solve it, but it would be really hard. And it would pretty much mean Solidity didn't look like Solidity anymore, is that a language that's built for smart contracts and is especially going to be built for financial transactions because smart contracts power, Ethereum token transfers and power wallets, has to be a security-first language. You want to make it really hard to screw up sending money, receiving money, or tokens, whatever, right? And that's just not the way Solidity was built. Solidity was built to look like JavaScript and Java, neither of which are really renowned for being these security awesome languages. You can write secure apps in Java and JavaScript and on PHP, but that's not what they were oriented around, like from day one. They were oriented to be, in some cases, easy to use or familiar to existing programmers or to avoid some mistakes of other languages, but they weren't around contracts and they weren't around security, and they weren't around finances in particular, right? So the nature of Handshake is trying to say, the contract comes first. The specifying of clarity comes first, even if it requires a lot more typing, right? Like, so a Solidity contract would probably be a lot shorter in terms of like number of lines of code than a Handshake contract, but that's on purpose because the whole goal is to make things as clear as possible. So, and to make things as secure as possible. So there's a concept of a contract, there's a concept of a transaction, and a transaction either completely is done or it never finishes, right? And it unrolls everything. And it can have sub-transactions. So the only way things happen at all is if everything happens. And then outside of those transactions or calculations and things. So everything's in its own section, right? So every calculation that's going to happen is specified in a calculation section. So you can see how things are calculated. And then you can go to a transaction section and say, we calculate this, we calculate this, we calculate this, this happens, and then we're done, right? There's a bunch of other features that I'm trying to work on and describe, and I'm calling in some people that I know are very experienced at these things, including eventually my professor of grad school who is a luminary in information science and did work with Google. I'm going to have them vet everything. And once the initial crappy alpha is done, I'm going to start presenting it with the goal of getting people who are more experienced than me at language design and security to weigh in. So what I don't want to do is be like Solidity, where the Ethereum developers are like, no one should build on this because it's not ready, and then the whole world trying to build on it because the demand is there, and then people losing millions of dollars. I don't want that. Yeah, I don't want that to be part of crypto's immediate legacy. I don't want our network to be this marching set of hacks that Ethereum has been since basically day one. I mean, it was like, let's do Ethereum. Let's lose $100 million to the DAO. Let's crash our network. Let's do this again. And the thing is, having looked at all this, like you can now, like these days, right, you can write a smart token contract that's secure, but it's taken them like a year. And I just don't see that as a long-term solution to the real promise of blockchains. The real promise of blockchains mean that we need a language that normal people can read and have a pretty good idea of what that language, what that contract is going to do. And if they're wrong on the details, sometimes the devil can be in the details, but I don't know if that's something that can be avoided, right? Like I don't know if it's possible to make things both flexible and perfectly clear for everyone forever, but between the fact that smart contracts are in the open and other people can help vet them, and then making it as clear as possible for an average user, I think we can bring a level of honesty that's never been seen before to the world, and that can only be a good thing.
You know, it's interesting to me, Rampant, is that if I go out and I listen to crypto media all over the space, if I hear things about Ethereum, it's very rare that I actually hear these types of concerns. And it's kind of scary, actually, because if we're wanting this to be mainstream adoption, right, if you're really saying, we're not just saying it, right, we really mean it, and we want cryptocurrencies to be adopted, and not only that, we want them to actually, the value proposition to actually be reflected. Not just some, oh, we've got a blockchain, well, okay, great. It's going to be worth $1 million for no reason, right? But we're in this place where people aren't talking enough about this type of stuff. And it's very important that I'm glad that you're working on this. I'm very pumped to hear about it. This is the first time I have. I'm sure that I could have heard it somewhere and missed.
No, this is new. So this came directly out of recognizing that we wanted something like smart contracts, and then I was like, all right, I need to dive into Solidity. So there's a couple options, right? Like, I don't know what EOS smart contracts are going to look like. I haven't seen it yet. And so I was like, well, we need to release this token. Let me learn Solidity and let me be really careful. And so the first thing I started reading was security issues with Solidity. Like, that's where I started because I'm an experienced engineer, and that's where you should start for something like this, right? Like, this isn't a web app for photos. This is important. And I was pretty horrified. I read a couple of papers that are like, this is why Ethereum will never be fixed long term. So, and I can send you some of those links. So you can make a secure smart contract and a secure token sale, but man, do you have to be careful. And there's like a lot of ways things can go wrong. And I just don't see that scaling for the entire world, right? And even if you do it right, in fact, the way you have to do it right, I think is much harder to read for a normal person than it should be. because it's very counterintuitive.
Well, some people that I've heard have actually talked about some things. Well, I won't get too deep into it, but some people have said that the DAO actually may have been the attack may have occurred because of somebody who was on the team potentially, and that they were so familiar with the contract that there's some way that they could have done what they accomplished there. I don't know for sure if that's the case, but I'll say this: what you're talking about, this stuff is possible. You can be hacked, and a lot of people are very afraid that you can be hacked on Ethereum, and it's a reasonable thing. I think if you look at DAO and what was the latest one? If you look at
the Parity wallet.
That was it. Thank you. When you look at these, people lost a lot of money, or could lose a lot of money. And it does happen. This space is very risky, and you have to be very careful to donate your funding to people who are talking about things like this. Because if they're not talking about it, and it's a problem, then you should probably be considering whether you should invest in it. That's my take on it. But with that said, you guys have a token on BitShares that people can buy into if they would like to. Is that correct?
That is correct. For your community, we do have a token already on BitShares.
Okay, well, and they can reach out and get it on. They're going to be able to get this on Ethereum in how long?
As soon as we can do it and we know it's safe. So probably the next few weeks. I'm not going to give a specific date because until I've really had a chance to go through it, it's not going to get released.
Fair enough. Well, I would urge you guys to please consider joining up and letting us know, of course, when that happens. Everybody is interested to hear this type of stuff as it comes out. But I definitely don't want to put pressure and say that you guys should, you're 100% right when you say, I don't know exactly. I can give you a rough estimate. And that's, I think, as fair as we can get. With that said, how would people reach out to you guys if they would like to talk about this stuff with you, or if they'd like to help you in any way, shape, or form? Or maybe they have some serious investment questions into the Purity chain.
Absolutely. So you can contact me, Crypto Hippie, or Jan. You can either go to purity.io, and there's info at purity.io. You can email me at bren@purity.io. There's Jan, Jan, at purity.io, and Forrest at purity.io. We also have a Discord, and I can drop that link into the chat, but reading it wouldn't be any good because it'll expire. And then, of course, we are on here pretty regularly. So, of course, if they tune in live, that will help.
Awesome. And Forrest, do you have anything to add on?
I just dropped the links in there that he was talking about. So the first one explains get into the BitShares UIA that we've created. So if you want to buy in right now, that's actually the best deal that you'll be getting on Pure Token. So
and you guys are going to be selling it for a higher price on Ethereum, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. It will be 20 cents, I believe, when it comes out. On the Ethereum token will be 20 cents. And right now you can buy them for 15, and if you invest that down to 2.5 cents. That information is first link there. The second one is the link to our latest and last hangout that we had. And that just got put up. And we'll be doing another one of those. I haven't fully set on a date yet. The time that we did last worked well for everybody else, but it was like 3 a.m. by the time I got to bed, so I'm gonna, if that's what it's gotta be, then we can do that, but I'd like to find maybe a better time. And then the last link is our and post, and we will also have the bounty post coming up as well in Bitcoin Talk. Also, we in our Discord, which the Discord is not linked there, but looks like Rampant just linked it. So anyways, yeah, in our Discord we have other bounty programs as well, so you can earn Pure Crowdfund Token, which is the name of the UIA that we created. And I welcome any and everybody to stop by and talk to us. We usually have most of us are in there all day long to answer any questions that you might have. And yeah, thank you guys. Really love your support, and love that you're having us on week after week. And thank you to all my people.
Thank you, man. And I look forward to hearing all the updates that you guys provide in the future. This handshake, I love the idea already. I'm kind of pumped actually. Right now, Rampant, that you brought that up today. Guys, there are a lot of tokens that they've put up as a special deal for people in the BitShares community and the BeyondBitcoin community who's made all this possible, which is all of you. So please consider at least looking at what they are offering on the DEX, because you can buy into their UIAs today directly from there. And with that said, thank you, everybody. Is there anything you guys would like to say in closing? I'm sorry.
The artwork contest that we're having right now, Discord server, we'll be paying out those. I'll do that tomorrow. So I was going to announce winners, but I think how I'm going to do that is I'm going to make a post on Steem it, and we're going to let people vote on the winner. I think that's a more fair way of doing it, judging it. Popularity contest, or, Steem popularity contest.
That's
That's all.
That's a great addition, and I actually might steal that from you in the future. But at least it's logged that I told you that I was stealing it from you.
Yeah, man.
With that said, guys, thank you
man.
for joining up to this hangout.
Fair enough.
Thank you to all of you, because this is all of you. This is so grassroots. It's probably the most grassroots hangout in crypto, and we have covered the most powerful technology before anybody else thought it was sexy. So I want you guys to all pat yourselves on the back, because you are ahead of the game by years. While other people are out there still fighting about whether they should put an extra, a larger size block in Bitcoin, or if they should completely fracture the entire community with 80 different versions that are ruled by each individual who's, little oligarchs that came from the original Bitcoin community. We've got all that stuff, all that drama, all that lack of governance, and we've been covering these chains and this technology that's trying to truly go beyond Bitcoin. And we haven't taken funds from large firms to tell you about these things. We haven't done any of this stuff that all these other crypto shows do. So I just want to thank you guys for helping me create something that is real. We might not always have the classiest, champagne radio show sound. We might not have all the glamour and glitz that everybody else gets to pay for with their extra funding from outside interests who don't necessarily have the buyer's best interests in mind. But we've brought a lot of people to some powerful things. And we've been attacked lately by some people who are powerful. But amazingly, the community was so powerful that even the people attacking can do nothing against you. Thanks for inspiring me every week. If any of you want to help Fuzzy, I'm not going to lie. Fuzzy's getting ridiculously busy these days. And fighting drama in addition to it takes a lot of extra time that I can't be building and doing things the right way. So if anybody has things that, if you feel like you can benefit this program or help us in some way, shape, or form, feel free to let me know. I'm looking for people to volunteer, and I can pay volunteers now. I know that it's not a volunteer job if I'm paying you, but I'm not telling you right now how much I'm going to pay you either, am I? So if you want to volunteer and you want to find out a little bit more about it, please do so by contacting me at BeyondBitcoin@gmail.com. I'm always looking to expand beyond Bitcoin because it's got to be a community. It can't just be a few people who act like they know everything about crypto, because they don't exist. We all have to learn about this together. So thank you for taking that journey with me, and thank you for being part of this ride, even in the darkest and scariest times. We're not going to quit. We're only going to grow and explode into something amazing. And I look forward to that day. And I look forward to giving you all frigging high fives because you were part of it.
You've been listening to the Beyond Bitcoin Whaletank. As a reminder, our Whaletank Hangouts start every Friday at 3 p.m. Universal Time. Be sure to follow the Beyond Bitcoin tag on Steem, as well as our Hangout host, Official Fuzzy, for the latest Whaletank updates. From all of us here at the Beyond Bitcoin Whaletank, we want to thank you for being a part of the discussion.